Welcome back again. Before we bring this session or this module to an end, let's do a work on switching emotions. How do we then switch emotions every time these negative emotions become overwhelming, overbearing, and defeating? This is so important that we understand it. I believe that it is an attribute of emotional intelligence to be able to switch emotions and then make sure that at every point in time when it becomes necessary to take a particular action, that you ensure that you are wielding the right kind of emotion. It's so important. If we want positive outcomes, every time we want to take action, we must ensure that we are trading on positive emotions. So when you feel depressed, when you feel grief, when you feel sorrow, when you feel sad, become emotion conscious. Become conscious of yourself, realizing that this negative emotion is leading to something negative, and quickly switch it. Quickly switch it. If you want positive outcome, then switch your emotions. This is so important. The feeling of the moment will control you and control your actions, period. Therefore, switch emotions to tally with your desired outcomes. 3 simple steps that helps you to switch emotions. Number 1, and we're going to learn some of them from the Lord Jesus Christ. Number 1 is take in deep breath tries. At the face of a situation that requires an action, and especially when you sense that all the emotions around you are negative. It could be emotions of anger, it could be emotions of pain, of grief, it could be emotions where you feel like squeezing the life out of somebody. Just take a deep breath. Once is recommended, but I always recommend 3 times, because no matter how upsetting and distressing that emotion, it is not possible. Taking in deep breath. What you're taking in is life, the breath of life. You're taking in oxygen. It gets into the ethereal compartments of your body and your heart. It reconfigures your emotions. It reconfigures your mindset. It reconfigures the way you feel and returns control back to you. It recalibrates your mind. It recalibrates your willpower. It recalibrates your control and mastery over the emotion and the prevailing circumstance of the moment. If a lot of people who committed murder just took a breath, it could have been different. Out of anger. Every time you feel depressed, guilty, and feel regrets, taking a deep breath consciously. Every time you feel an emotion of sadness, knowing that the outcome will always be counterproductive, taking a deep breath and then breathe out. That will be enough. But if you do it 3 times, I guarantee that something in you will be reset that will position you for the right steps and the right actions. The next thing you got to do is to have a heartfelt conversation with God. Trust me, in the situations of the moment, you will not have opportunity to look for right positions and right postures and right environments to have conversations with God. Life will not always give you the opportunity for posturing. Prayer is not about posturing. It's not about whether you knelt down, whether you sat down, whether you lay down, whether you stood, whether you're crawling, whether you're in the gutter, whether you're in the river, whether you are anywhere in the toilet. It doesn't matter where you. In fact, you can be in the midst of a crowd. You can be under police assault and still have a heartfelt conversation with God. It can be a phrase, a clause, a sentence where you just breathe a cry for help. Whatever it is, a deep, heartfelt conversation with God. Help me, Lord. Anything you can say to God can recalibrate your emotions and change the outcome of things. You'll be so glad the outcome. The third, which is also the last, is having a heartfelt conversation with yourself. Self-talk is so powerful. Self-talk is so therapeutic. Breathing in, breathing out, talking to God, talking to yourself, they are so therapeutic. They will change the emotional configuration and chemistry of any situation and any mind. Oh, I love that. I learned that a lot from David. King David of the Bible. David, it was said, will say, my soul, why are you cast down? He was battling with emotions, negative emotions. It was overwhelming and overbearing. And he began to speak to his emotions. I've done that 1,000 times. And the way my emotions recalibrate, reset, and readjust is like a miracle. The Bible talking about when David and his wives and the wives and children of his men were captured. The Bible talks about David, and David encouraged himself in the Lord. Unfortunately, courage is not courage is not a gift. It's not something that can be given to you as a gift. So courage is cultivated. Courage is something that you develop intentional, and it's so simple. Just speak words of courage to yourself. Words that bring courage. It is words that bring courage. So by the time you speak into yourself, why are you cast down? Hey, Mason, you can do this. You can handle it. You have what it takes. You are more than, you are who God says that you are. You are not going down. You cannot cave in. Don't do this. Don't feel this way, my soul. Why are you depressed? Why? By the time you begin to have heartfelt conversations, nobody else needs to hear you. But make sure you speak it loud enough for your ears to hear you. Faith, it comes by hearing. You need to hear you. Don't just say it within your heart, except the circumstances make it impossible. But speak to yourself, if possible, make you hear you. And you can switch any emotions. Give it a try and thank me later. All right, so we come to the end of Model 3. There are 2 exercises that require your attention. Use the links. We have look backwards, and then we have create the future. 2 exercises, because until we look backwards, the farther backward we can look, the farther we can go in life. So do them exercises. They'll form the basis of our one-on-one bespoke session later today. And do have a wonderful day. I'll see you later.